All right, welcome to part two of that video that cut off. I believe I left off on the clone of the Benchmade 940 Osborne. This one feels like it's the best, like the most well-made out of the clones. This one and the Benchmade Bug Out are really well made, and this tagged out. For this 940, I mean, this blade type is pretty cool. Just it's really unique. I've seen this in a lot of other videos, the real one, not the clone, but the real Benchmade one. And I've always wanted to try this one out. So now I have it in my hands. I can see what it feels like, see what it's like to carry. Obviously, I can't see its full performance because I guarantee this is not the steel that it claims to be. So it's claiming S90V. I guarantee it's not. But out of all the clones, this 940 and the Benchmade Bug Out that was in the last video, these are the two most well-built knives out of the clones. And I mean, this one has zero blade wobble. It functions really well. I mean, it could be smoother, but it does function well. So this Benchmade 940 Osborne is probably the most well-built. And the Benchmade Bug Out that I had, it carries the best. So the Bug Out is a really nice design, and that is one that I may try. I don't know if I'll ever spend the money for a real 940, but it is a nice knife. To go along with that, I have this Benchmade. I have this Benchmade tagged out. I do like this one. It's a good hunting knife. Hunting style knife, I should say. It's got the axis lock, like the Bell Out, the Bug Out, and the 940. I mean, so far on these clones, this axis lock has been holding up pretty well. And I kind of like this orange blade. They had a few options, but I decided to go with the orange. I like the cutout right here for your thumb, so you can open it. You can open it pretty easily. You can get your thumb and finger in there really well. I do like the cutout. And then this SOG, I don't think I ever got to this one in the last video, but there's something wrong with that spring. So this is the kind of stuff you run into when you buy a clone. They are not built to the same standards. And SOG isn't super high end, but they are. I've had SOG knives before and multi-tools, and I've really liked them. This one's probably one I regret purchasing because it was like 15 or 16 bucks. And I think the actual SOG is only like 40 or 45. So I should have just spent the extra money and not gotten a clone. I should have gotten the real thing. So kind of regret purchasing this one because the clone is only half the price of the original, where the Bug Out or the Benchmade clones, they're like a tenth of the price. So kind of wish I would have just got the real deal, because this is a nice design, and it feels like a really sturdy knife. So should have got the SOG. I wouldn't have had that issue with the spring. I'm sure I can take it apart and bend the spring and get a little bit more pressure on there, or just smooth up something on the pivot here. So one of the ones I was the most excited about out of all the clones was this cold steel clone of the 8015. This unique locking design. I don't know if you can see in there. This one's like a two-handed knife. It's really hard to close it one-handed. See that bar that's inside there locks into the back of the blade. And so far, I'm trying to bend it a little bit. I don't want to cut myself, but it's pretty sturdy. This clone, though, has some blade wobble. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but there's some blade wobble. So this is one I'll have to take it apart and see if I can tighten it up a little bit. But on this clone, this back bar here, it feels like it's just made out of really cheap plastic. Like, it feels severely cheap. I mean, it is a cool design, but again, I think I spent almost $20 on this clone, and the original's only like 120. So this is one, I want to go get my hands on a real one of the 8015. It's a really cool design. It like almost feels like a fixed blade when it's all the way closed. It feels really sturdy. But I'll bet with this cheap hardware and this cheap handle material, I mean, even these scales feel like they're made out of, yeah, you can hear. That is just cheap plastic. So I'll do a video of taking some of these apart because some of them are kind of an interesting design. There's just a spring in the back here that pushes up on this to keep that locked in place. I'd like to see how cheap and crappy that piece really is, that spring. But this is just, I don't know. I don't know if I'd chop anything with this or if I would even really trust, bearing down on it and cranking on it. It just feels a little bit too sloppy. So definitely want to get my hands on the real deal. I do like that this one has a place for a lanyard. Same with the tagged out. I do have some more stuff on the way. I have a few more clones. I have a few more, why can't I think of the name? Kaiser. I have some real Kaiser knives coming. I have a fixed knife sharpener that will be here delivered when some of the other clones get delivered, and a marlin spike and weaving needles for paracord. So I do like tying lanyards on some knives. I mean, I did a crappy snake lanyard on here that I'm definitely changing. I want an adjustable lanyard out on this one. Oh, another clone that I'm getting that I'm really excited about there. I found a SE4. My brother has the real deal, and he spent a couple $100 on his a few years ago, but I found a clone for about $30. So we'll be doing a side-by-side comparison of that in a video coming up in the next month or so. But definitely more clone videos coming in the next week or so. The sharpener, we'll try a TEMU fixed sharpener, and the marlin spike with the weaving needles for paracord. So I think that'll be a fun video. See how those work out. So yeah, that's it for this one. I tried to keep it short and to the point. I'm not really going too in-depth. Most of these don't need an in-depth video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.